Good afternoon to everyone. So in this session, we will look at idea generation in case of a startup. So I'm giving this on behalf of the Institutions Innovation Council's CIP. Okay. So this is the question which every one of us will have in our mind. Why should we go for a startup? Okay. And I have given you the source of this particular graph. I hope I am audible and the slide is visible. Can
Yes, sir.
confirm that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So this slide tells you why the government is very much interested in going towards a startup. So on the y-axis, you can see the growth rate in terms of the GDP. Okay, and this data you can see for 2019, the second quarter, the GDP rate has come very low, 4.5, because of the economic slowdown, and thereafter in 2020 also it went below because of the pandemic situation. Okay, and this GDP is proportional to, or this GDP tells you the economic growth of the nation. Okay, so any government that is in the center would like to achieve a higher GDP under their tenure so that the economy of the nation is strong. Okay, and startup is one criteria which is capable of increasing the GDP, which we can see in the consecutive slides. So before proceeding further, what is this GDP all about? We are all studying mechanical engineering, and it is better. You will also have a course on economics, uh, economics and management. It is better to know all these terms. The gross domestic product. GDP is gross domestic product, and you can see that it is the total production of goods and services in the economy. So the more you have goods, the more you have the services, the more is your GDP of the nation, and that is going to contribute to the economy of the nation. Okay, so here you can see it can be measured in terms of production, it can be measured in terms of income and in terms of the expenditure. And all the three together, you get the aggregate or the average of these three, which we call as GDPA. So A is the average, B is for production, I for income, and E for expenditure. Okay, just to give you why this startup is very much important and why the government is focusing on startup. Okay, so here one another slide which gives you what are the startups that can be seen in Asia. You can see in China, these are all these startups that you can see. Okay, and here South Korea, Japan, these are all the startups that you can see. Okay, and if you look at India, see here we have a couple of startups here: Flipkart, Ola, Snapdeal. 197 is nothing but your Paytm and Quicker. All these are startups in India. And so you can see even in Pakistan, there are a couple of startups. Okay. So all of the nations, all the countries, they try to increase their startups because that is going to contribute to the economy of the nation at large. Okay, so that is why the government is giving a lot of fund in terms of startups. Before concluding the session, I will also take you to the website, which is there, the government website under AICTE, under the Ministry of Education. I'll show you that also, and so that you can have a full understanding of what we are dealing with. Look at this. This is USA is United States of America, and here they have got a caption to uh, To highlight the importance of startups, here we have said United States of startups, which means you can see every state there has contributed in, in some form of a startup that has come up in their nation. Each and every state, you can see that some startup has come up. Okay, so that is how each and every nation is contributing to their economy. So if the business flourishes, if the startup flourishes, if the industry flourishes, the economy of the nation also goes up. Okay? I'll share you the slide later on and see, look at the world economy. This is for the year 2019. Okay, so this is for 2019, and here you can see what is the GDP of the nation. Each nation, you can see China is at 16.34%, and look at America, it's at 24.42%. The economy of the nation, it is at $21 trillion approximately, and here $14 trillion. And if you look at India, we have somewhere around approximately $3 trillion. Okay, and our government is trying to increase that to $5 trillion economy. That is what they are trying to do. And you can compare this. We are at 2.88, United Kingdom that is at 2.83, Germany it is at 3.85. You can look at this is how the economy of the nation is, economy of the countries, they are estimated. And you can see United States is well ahead, and China has got a considerable amount of GDP, and after that you have Japan, Germany, France, and so on. Okay, and we can say India has also got a considerable amount of contribution in terms of GDP. But when you compare the population of India with the population of Japan, you know we have more human potential in terms of human resources. We have more, uh, and so we can contribute a lot. And that is why the government is focusing on building startups. They have initiated all these activities, NISP, National Innovation Startup Policy, Institutions Innovation Council, uh, through all these ARIA ranking, through all these ranking, they are trying to bring a startup culture into higher educational institutions so that students, when they go out, they will have an innovative mind, and those who are dedicated and committed, and those who want to achieve something in life in terms of establishing a new startup, the government is willing to extend its support in terms of funds. Okay? And IIC and NISP in our institute, we are also helping students in getting awareness regarding that. Okay, and this is another slide which you can see what are all the top 10 highest value startups. You can see US 1, 2, 3, 4. There are four major startups which are from United States and China. Look at China. There is another four. And look at the estimation, $75 billion, $56 billion, and 18 and 15. Look at the amount. Look at the amount. It is 75 and this is 56. Even United States comparatively, it is not having that huge amount. It is 36 and 33, 18, and this is the kind of revenue or the income that is generated by the startup. And to our account, Paytm. In the last slide also we saw 197. So Paytm, that is fetching somewhere about $16 billion. Okay, and to our credit, we just have one. We are able to feature in the top 10, and you can see we are somewhere at rank 7. And you can see the first two, it is from China, the next three from US, and again China, and and this is Singapore. Okay, so though we have one with the potential that is being mentioned here, only one Indian entity in the list. China and US dominate the lineup. Okay, so that is where our government is concentrating, and if startups can come up, that is going to increase or that can boost the economy of the nation. Okay, and this is one such slide from the advanced level training which we undergo. You can see this is the uh, people who are involved in startups. In less than 25 years, only 20% are taking up these startups, and between 26 and 30, that is 31%, and from 31 to 45 years, it is 44%. So you can see the majority of these startups, it is from the middle-aged group, not from the younger generation or not from the older generation, but from the middle-aged group, 31 to 45 years. However, the data is from 2016-17. Okay? So maybe it would have gone up a little bit higher, and we expect this this range less than 25 years and 26 to 30, that should go up. And if that can go up, because majority of the population in India, it is from the younger generation, the generation that is coming up, and so that can boost the economy of the nation. And look at the people who are involved in startups. See, engineering graduates, they are taking about almost 50%. So that is where our higher education institutions, where we are training engineering students, engineering graduates, we guys or you guys have more potential in establishing a startup when compared to the other graduates, maybe from arts, science, or um, medical field. Okay, and even from MBA, the business administration, only 25%. So a bulk we are getting from the engineering graduates. So you guys, those who are interested, those who are willing to take up the challenge, you can concentrate on this. And you can see the student startups have gone from 350 to 450 plus, but in the coming years, it should be much more higher. And you can see that the female entrepreneurs are very less. So compared to 89%, we have only 11% female entrepreneurs in our country. But the government is motivating them even for uh, filing patents. If a female candidate is filing the patent, you are given privilege in processing the patent quickly. So girl students from the class, if you are willing to work, you can take advantage of the situation. The government is trying to bring more female entrepreneurs in India. Okay, even in IPR, even in establishing the company, if the owner of the company is a female, then a lot of uh, concession is being given. So girl students from the class can take advantage of the situation. I remember a few girl students in this class in the very first year when we talked about what is your future goal. I heard someone saying, I want to establish a business or a startup. And this is the difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. Okay, an entrepreneur is someone, in this case, we talk about a startup, one who is establishing a startup. What is the difference between them? A businessman, he has already got a well established business. It follows a traditional method. They tend to avoid taking risks, and they are more profit oriented, and they play in the market. Okay, so when the market changes, they change accordingly. Then what is the difference with reference to a startup? So in a startup, you can see that he is starting the business from scratch, from a unique and innovative idea. So this is the key, and this is what we are trying to focus you on. Okay, this is where your focus should be. So you should learn to build up or develop innovative ideas. So innovation, that is very, very important. There are so many existing products. If you are able to bring a small change or a small innovation in it, then that becomes an innovative product. And you can file patent for it, and you can register that product, and you can And you can say you can register your company and establish it as a startup with that innovative idea. And in most cases, the revolutionary ideas, they fled the market. See, now everybody, they are comfortable in using Ola, they are comfortable in using Uber or Red Taxi. And all these companies, you all know, they do not own a single taxi. The company Ola is not owning a single taxi, but they are just pooling the different taxis, and uh, they are acting as a channel, okay, and without spending money or without spending or investing on cars, they are earning a large amount of money as profit. So that is a revolutionary idea. You need not wait in a place for a taxi. You just open the app, look for the taxi, you book it, and you can see the prices, whether it is a peak time or a non-peak time, whether that amount is okay with you, or if some other, you can compare the price with Ola and Uber, whichever is cheap, you can go for that. All these things or revolutionary ideas. Maybe 5 or 6 years before, such a concept was not there. But when this idea entered into the market, everybody got accommodated to that. And now running a taxi on one's own way or individual person running a taxi, it is a little bit difficult. Okay, and they are risk takers. That doesn't mean it is a risk beyond comprehension. It is a calculated risk. It is not without risk. And that is where most of the students, most of us, maybe from the middle class family or from the upper middle class family, people usually don't go into startups. Okay, but there is something else which I will add upon, and the startups are people oriented, customer oriented. It is not just profit oriented, it is people oriented, and that is what we are going to look upon. What is this people oriented? How do you get an innovative idea which is people oriented? Today, most of the startups fail because they have an innovative idea, but that innovative idea is not needed in the market. Okay, imagine I am bald headed. Now, so if I am a bald headed person, I don't need a comb. Okay, if someone, I am bald headed, but if someone, with due respect for the bald headed people, I'm not making fun of them, just to give you a concept. Who knows, maybe after 10 or 15 years, I may go bald headed. I don't know. So I'm not making fun of them, I'm just trying to give you an example. A bald headed person doesn't need a comb. So if you go and try to convince him to buy a comb, he will just say, "See, I don't need it." So that's how people try to bring up startups. They try to bring products into the market which is not needed in the market, and that's why most of these startups fail. And we will see that later on. And these people, they don't bend with the market. There is a saying, "Bend with the wind," bend with the wind, or be a Roman when you are at Rome. So those are people who accommodate themselves according to the market. But there are some people who always try and see how an innovative idea can change the market itself. Instead of bending with the market, take Ola, Uber, Swiggy, or Zomato, they didn't go along with the conventional or traditional method. They took a calculated risk, and for that, now they are reaping the benefits. Okay, they changed the perspective of the market. So they are not market players, they are market leaders. They define what market is. An innovative idea is capable of doing that. Okay, and these are all some basic concepts I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so when you have a startup, so these are the three stages that you will go through: idea stage, prototype stage, and the product stage. And before proceeding further, as I told you, it will be very difficult for a middle class family or a lower class family or an upper middle class family to invest lots and lots of money into startup and start a business. Even if you ask me to start a business, I won't do it. But now there is, apart from the term entrepreneur, now people also call something as intrapreneur. Apart from entrepreneur, now you have something called intrapreneurs. So these are people who comfortably work in an organization. They may be working in Tata or they may be working in some big institute, a multinational company, and that company motivates their employees. They allow them to come up with innovative ideas, and they give them the freedom to innovate ideas, to design it, to make it into a product. And if it is a convincing product, without spending any money from their pocket, the company is willing to take that product to the market and pay dividend or uh, pay profit to that particular employee. So uh, such a kind of uh, work environment is now available in MNC companies. Many companies are practicing them. Why I'm saying this is, now when I say go for a startup, now I'm not asking you, come on, bring 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs from your father, let's start a startup. I'm not asking you to do that. No, not at all. What we are asking you to do is try to develop that innovative idea. Try get a problem from the society, get a problem from your family, or get a problem from your neighborhood, and try to bring a solution for it with some innovation involved in it. And if it strikes, if it is a valuable suggestion, go ahead and patent it. And if you are able to, and if you are somewhat stable economically, then go ahead and push for it. And who knows, it may become a wonderful startup. Just like Paytm, your startup may grow. We do not know. Okay, so that is what we are trying to tell you. Get a problem and try to make a solution. Okay, so with that broad mind, try and listen what I am trying to tell you. Okay, so in the idea stage, so it requires extensive search, problem identification, and possible solution. When we say extensive search, at the beginning, in the beginning level, you can just look for problems around you. And I'll give you some examples on it also. Then once you have that idea, try and make it into a prototype, which means a model. Okay, maybe in your small days you would have worked with building blocks. Now, or you would have seen some of your some small kids in your family, they play with building blocks, they make a model out of it, something like that. You do a prototype. Initially it can be a very ugly prototype, it can be a very rough drawing, and then you make something very ugly, and then you try and make it a workable prototype, and then you can convert it into a product. Okay, and then you go for the product stage. And of course, this is not an easy job. Establishing a startup requires a lot of commitment. It requires a lot of hard work. It is an adventurous journey. Okay. So in today's session, we will just talk about this idea stage, how to take a problem and get a solution for it. So that is what we are going to concentrate on. Okay. So you just understand the problem. You try to define a solution for it. Okay, and this offer or demo, in our stage you can say it is an ugly prototype, and with that, if you are able to bring a solution to the problem, then that is a potential innovative idea. Okay, and this is something very important which people call as technology readiness level TRL. TRL stands for Technology Readiness Level, and there are 9 levels here. Sorry about that. If it is a PPT, you will not be able to see the total slides, so I have converted into a PDF. So technology readiness level, TRL. So there are 9 levels here, okay? And I would encourage you to go at least up to TRL 4. Okay, you can see TRL 0, it is an idea, it just comes into your mind, it is an unproven concept, no testing has been performed, it's just a vague idea, a wild idea, okay? Something like which people before they invented an aeroplane, they tried to use wings, uh, they jumped from a mountain or they jumped from a building, all these vague ideas. I'm not asking you to jump now, I'm just saying you just think something, right? So that is the idea. Without any concept, without any proof, that is TRL 0. Okay? TRL 1. This is the basic research. Once you have an idea, you have to just go and sit and think whether does that idea fit into some scientific principle? Does it obey the scientific laws? There are so many laws, law of gravity. So you can't say, now I'm going to design a product that is capable of flying on its own and it has got a mass of 10 kilograms. That's not possible. It is violating the law of gravity. It can't just fly. That is a gravity which will pull that object down. So when you have an idea, a stone of 10 kilogram that is going to fly on its own, I'm going to do it. That's TRL 0. And then when you try to fit it into the law of science, it violates the law of gravity. So that is TRL 1. Say suppose you say that stone is not going to fly on its own, I'm going to supply an external power to it. Okay, then that scientific law is validated. So there is a force to counteract the force of gravity. So that is TRL 1. And then technology formulation, that is TRL 2, 3, which is applied research, which means the laboratory test. So when you experiment it, then that is applied research. So then you have this ugly prototype and large scale prototype, and then we have to take that heat exchanger and see whether it is working in the intended environment, which means whether it is applicable for the industry. Will it suit an industrial application? So if we are able to do that, then that will be TRL 5. We work under an industrial environment. So that is TRL 5. Okay, and then TRL 6 is the prototype tested in the intended environment, and 7 is the demonstration system, which means now you are confident, you can take it to the society and say, see, I have made a product and now I'm going to demonstrate it to you. Okay, and then you can take it to the commercialization, which means you can take it to the market and now you say, my product is there for sale. Okay, and then you have full commercial application where technology is available for the consumers. Now the people have started using it. So these are the technology readiness levels. Whether you're able to achieve TRL 9, you can't achieve it just like that, but we are motivating you to come at least up to TRL 4. Okay, and I can surely tell you that it is possible to achieve TRL 4 uh, within your period of study. Okay, and now you can so the part where you will be able to understand I'm coming there. Okay, so here this is an example which was again showed to us during our training program. So here he is a student from an science college, arts and science college from Uttar Pradesh, and this guy has invented eco-friendly water retention polymer. You can see he is holding a polymer in his hand. You can see over here, this is the polymer you can see, and this polymer is capable of holding water for a long period of time. Okay, and this guy, he is from an agricultural family, and his environment is such that they are able to get rain only for 2 or 3 months. After that, they don't have water to irrigate their agricultural field. So this guy was thinking like he's studying science, and when he came across material science, and when he was studying about this polymer, something sparked in his mind, and he thought about and said, "Wait a second, this polymer is capable of retaining water, so why don't I use this and put it near the root of the plant so that it will be capable of retaining water and the plant can use that water for a long period of time so that I can water it only uh, uh, I can water it a day, then I can leave 3 days gap and then water it again so that water can also be saved and the plants can also grow. A very simple idea, but a very powerful idea. Okay, it worked, and now this guy who has just graduated from his bachelor's degree in science, this product is now used all over Japan, and he's earning a lot of money out of it. See, a simple idea. This guy didn't go somewhere and he didn't look for a different problem. He was not talking about designing a rocket or designing a missile. He had a problem in his own house. He didn't have water to irrigate his agricultural land for a long period of time. And then something sparked in his mind, and then he has come up with a product, and now he is able to draw in large amounts of money. Okay, so this is how I'm asking you to select a problem. Okay, and see, this is a very, very good example. And this was also shown to us during our training program. You all know this crutch. Crutch is what people use. The people who cannot walk on their own, they use crutches. And you all know that crutches can be used on flat grounds. You can't use crutches on staircases like this because if you have to use crutches on staircases, one foot should be smaller, the other foot should be longer, right? Okay, we don't have crutches like that. See, this girl, she is not even a college graduate. She was a school student. You can look at this picture. She was a school student. I don't know whether someone needed crutch in her family. I don't know. I don't know the background story of it. But this girl, she came up with an idea. See, we have adjustable chairs. Why don't you have an adjustable crutch so that you can use that crutch and climb upstairs? Why should people look for somebody's help to climb stairs? They can use this adjustable crutch and climb upstairs. A very simple idea, but a very powerful idea. You can see now there are so many designs out of it, though she is not manufacturing all these products. She has patented it and she has got tie up with a company and they are manufacturing these products and she is getting royalty or money for that particular product. Okay. A very simple approach. Crutches are already there. The only innovative idea here is make one leg adjustable. A simple idea, but a powerful idea, which is now fetching her a lot of money. I think maybe she is in college now, or maybe she has graduated from college. Okay? And this is another example wherein now people are using ergonomic keyboards where you have a flat keyboard or a keyboard like this, then you have to use the hands, which is shown in this picture. So some people who are working in the IT industry, as they keep on working like this, they get pain in their hand. Okay, so if the keyboard can be divided into half, so that one hand can be kept on one side and the other can kept on another side, that will be easy for working. Okay, and that is another innovative product, and this was also shown as an example to us. Look at this. This is a flower pot. This is the normal flower pot you will see in our houses. But if you are living in a first floor or second floor, you just can't leave the flower pot on the balcony. Okay. Sometimes if it accidentally falls, it can even fall on the head of some person and break their head. and that will bring you trouble. So I don't know who invented this, or you see, he has just made a cut over here so that it rests on this lining which is given in the balcony, so that now this particular flower pot doesn't slide and fall down. It will be there, seated uh, firmly in the balcony. Uh, a simple, innovative idea, but still powerful. Okay? So uh, these are some of the problems that I have shown you. Like uh, I had the opportunity to visit uh, IPRC Mahendragiri, ISRO Space Propulsion Complex, Mahendragiri near Tirunelveli, in 2019, and we went there, myself and one person from chemical engineering, another faculty from chemical. We went there to celebrate or to commemorate the innovation day, which was conducted by them. And they invited two personalities. One was a professor from Kamaraj University, another was an ordinary person. I'm not sure about his studies, how much he has studied, I don't know. And that professor from Kamaraj University, he has come up with an idea wherein plastics, you all know plastic is creating a lot of problems, but this professor has come up with an idea where plastics are mixed with tar. You have tar roads, right? Tar road. Along with tar, they mix plastic so that when plastic and tar is mixed together in a particular proportion, that tar road lasts for a long time. During the rainy season, in some of the cases, your tar road it becomes weakened and you have to lay it again. But if it is a plastic tar road, that problem doesn't come because plastic does not allow seepage of water through it. A very good innovative idea, but I don't know how far it has been implemented. And that was discussed on that particular meeting. Another gentleman whom they called for that was a person. He hasn't studied much, and in his wife was suffering from sort of a problem, and she was bedridden, and so she could not do her activities on her own. Okay, so if she has to go to the restroom, then someone has to take her and pick her up and go there. So that was his problem. His problem was how to help his wife. So he came with an innovative idea where he designed a bed on his own, where she will be capable of moving it on her own. She will be capable of using it on her own. So this is what innovation is. So in a shorter sense, you have to look for problems around you and then try to come up with a solution. We all do this every day, but now you just need to think this in terms of a real life situation wherein it would help maybe your family or your neighborhood or maybe your locality, uh, maybe your street or maybe your city, and maybe one day for the state or the country at large. So you can start thinking about very simple problems. So when we ask you to take a problem, you may not go and look for problems somewhere else. Nowadays, people are giving you hackathons. Okay, you can go and look for problems in hackathons also, but it will be very good if you look problems that are available in your own household, in your own society, and if you are able to bring solution to it, that is why startup is called as people centered. Now you are bringing a solution where people are getting benefit out of it. Okay, so that is why a startup is called as people centered. Okay, so this is how you are supposed to take a problem and find a solution for it. I often give this as example to students. Now, all of our families, we have biomedical waste in our own house. We all use mask. We all use face mask, right? Facial mask we all use. How do we dispose it? Most of the time, we just dispose it along with the garbage bag in our house. But is that safe? In case if someone has got that virus in that mask, and if it is just thrown into the garbage bag, and if that goes into the waste management system, see, so many people can get affected by it, even in the college road or in the roads around your house. You can see mask lying on the road. We don't know whether it is contaminated or not. So you can take that as a problem. How to dispose facial masks that you are using. That is a problem that we have right now. We don't have a concrete solution for it. Solution like that. Start thinking in that way. Take a problem that you have at hand, and when you were there, most of us are facing internet issues. It gets disconnected often. That is a problem that we face. How to solve it? So take a problem that is prevailing in the society which you are facing, take that and try to bring a solution for it. That is innovation. That innovation is very simple, and if that can help the society at large, so if you are able to bring a beautiful system or a wonderful system that helps you in disposing the facial mask effectively, people will use it. You can use that. Recently, I came across a post in LinkedIn where the milk bags that we have, right? Milk bags, the packets that we get, the almond milk packet or Arogya milk packet that you get, they are asking, they are collecting those milk packets and they are converting it into plastic, reusable plastic. They are doing that. I came across one such post in LinkedIn. See, likewise, you can take any problem that is prevailing in the society, and maybe you are from an agricultural family, just like I gave you an example of this guy who was thinking about a water retention polymer. You can also think in similar grounds. Maybe uh, your father is owning a coconut farm and there is some sort of a disease that is affecting that coconut tree, you can try and bring a solution for it. That's innovation. And that can help someone else also. And you can start a pesticide industry, maybe, if it is an effective product. That is how a startup is supposed to grow or supposed to be established. When you have a product which is required in the market, then people will go for it. Okay, so I'll stop sharing this. So this is the website I was talking about, mic.gov.in. Okay, and so MOE's Innovation Council means MOE is Ministry of Education. Okay, and this is what I was talking about. So shortly we will be dealing with this ARIA ranking, Atal ranking of institutions of innovation achievements. Last time under government and government aided institutions all over India, we were ranked third. This time we do not know what position we are going to get. And on behalf of IIC and CIT, I'm delivering this lecture and Smart India Hackathon, and shortly in our department we will be organizing a hackathon as well. Previously we thought we would deal with startup, and now we are converting that into a hackathon. Okay, and this is what I was talking about, NIST, National Innovation Startup Policy, where every higher education institution, they are asking us to to give students the privilege of making their own startups, getting funds, and under national innovation and startup policy, if you are working in a startup, even that can be treated as internship, and some amount of credits can be given instead of a couple of subjects. Credits can be transferred to that. So such kind of policy is also there. So Kapila Yukti and all these are programs conducted by Ministry of Education. Okay, so you can go here and you can look for the variety of and under hackathon, you can see, you can under Smart India Hackathon, you can go and see for more details. You can visit a separate website. This will take you a separate website. Okay, and here so here you can look at the problem statements. So there will be a variety of problem statements. You can look at the different categories that you have. Okay. So here companies are giving their problems, and if possible, you can take your problems from here. So if it is, so which technology you want to work on, say for example, waste management, and you will see the number of problems that you find in waste management. So you have a lot of problems in waste management. The kitchen wastewater harvesting, what do you use with the kitchen water that you have? An efficient system that you can design. So these are the different problems that you have. So likewise, you can check for different categories. The agriculture and rural development. Then there are so many problems here. See, a lot of problems are there. For about 6-7 pages, you have that much problems. You can choose any one problem. So if you're not able to come up with a problem, you can take problems like this and you can work on it. Or if you have a problem in your own household or in your own society or your dear friend, someone is having some problem, you can try to take that and find a solution for it. Okay. So you can go to this website, mic.gov.in, and you can look for the problem statements from there also. Okay. So because most of you were asking, so how am I supposed to define a problem? Problem definition is very simple. We are not asking you to take only engineering problems. That is also important. But you can also take a very generic problem. And for that problem, if you are able to bring a solution, just like the examples that I showed you, it can become a powerful innovation which can help the society as well as fetch you a lot of money. Okay? So that is what I wanted to share with you. So if you guys have anything to ask, you can ask
Sir, can you repeat the website you said, sir? No.
me. mic.gov.in. I'll type it in the chat box.
Okay. Thank you.
No doubts?